May 25th will mark the 150th graduating class of St. Mary's College of California. This private institution, nestled in the hills of Moraga, has become widely recognized for its academic success. But don't let the small enrollment numbers fool you, because St. Mary's has had a very storied athletic history as well. In the last decade, the Gaels of St. Mary's have won a plethora of conference championships in a multitude of sports, including tennis, golf, soccer, and basketball, to name a few. The Gaels have taken this recent success to the global scale, with a select number of athletes competing in the 2012 Olympics in London, England. Robert Browning, head women's volleyball coach here at St. Mary's, and former Gael standout Patty Mills, represented their countries in London along with current Gael point guard Matthew Dellavedova. Bo Levesque and I had the chance to sit down with the reigning West Coast Conference Player of the Year for an exclusive interview on his time across the pond.
Matthew Dellavedova, senior point guard for the Gaels this year. Delly, it's good to see you.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Now, you had the blessing of going and playing for your country in the Olympics in London this summer. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, going to the Olympics to play for Australia has been something I've wanted to do ever since I was a little kid. We had the 2000 Olympics in Australia, and I was 10 years old then, and that really opened my eyes to the Olympics, and ever since then, or even before that, it's been my goal to get to the Olympics, and to be able to do that was pretty special this summer.
So you make the team, you're in London. Now you're getting matched up against guys that we've watched on TV for years, like LeBron James, the Kobe Bryants, the Carmelo Anthonys. What was it like to play against those guys?
It was a great opportunity because obviously you don't get the chance to play against players like that every day. But our goal was to beat them, so you can't go out sort of looking and being in awe of them. You have to go out just as another opponent and try to know their tendencies and what you need to do to try and stop them or limit them.
What was the atmosphere like in the locker room before the game?
I think it was just it wasn't just like any other game because it was a quarterfinal game as well, and it was knockout, so win or go home. So I think one of the strengths of the team and of Australian teams in general is just the mateship and camaraderie. So I think there's always a lot of support within the team for each other and a great team spirit, and that's one of the things that makes it so great to play for Australia.
So you finished up in the Olympics, you came back here. How have you been able to translate what you learned playing against these opponents into playing now for your fourth year for the Gaels?
There's not sort of one thing you can point to, but I think playing against just men who are sort of bigger and stronger and faster and understand the game so well, you have to make decisions a lot quicker and be a lot more exact with your passing and decision making, and a lot tighter with your handles. So I think just generally that helped a lot.
So can you talk to me a little bit about your experience? I know you hadn't had a chance to play with Patty while you were here at St. Mary's. Him going through St. Mary's and then also having a chance to play with him in the Olympic team. Was it comforting at all knowing that you had another St. Mary's graduate or athlete on the team with you?
Yeah, well, we got the chance to play together for about 6 months, or be at the institute together for 6 months back at the start of 2007 before he came over for his freshman year. So, and then obviously from being at St. Mary's, got to know him well before the Olympics, but just throughout that campaign, it was awesome being able to play with him, and he's just a great guy to hang out with off the court as well. So it was a lot of fun.
All right, Del, we're just about done with you, but now just a quick little glimpse on what can we expect from the Gaels the rest of the year?
Well, I think we've got a lot of room to grow. We're getting a lot better. We had a tough trip down to Anaheim, but I think in the long run it'll be good for us because we found out what we need to work on, and we're doing that right now. And if we can continue to improve throughout the season, I think we'll be thereabouts in the conference late in the year.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Doug. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
All right.
This is Kyle Rowley, Bolevec, and James Walker with Audiolog. Thanks for tuning in.